Hey there, welcome to the Teenier Tinkers channel. I make usually ball jointed doll and craft related content, but today I am just showing you the new hobby I've started because if I needed anything, of course it was a new hobby. Now, I like to draw, I like to paint, I obviously like to make dolls, all of that. I also do have tattoos, and I do like tattoos, and I've been wanting to try tattooing or like whatever for like a hot minute, so I finally decided to pick up this Wormhole tattoo kit. Now, this is obviously not going to be like A-grade quality as far as ink, needles, any of that kind of stuff, just as a heads up. And you'll see in a bit why I say that. I think it was like $125 or something. It's like a fun place to start. I, at this point, am just tattooing fake skins. So yeah. Anyways, this video is just showing you the kit I got, what was included, and my first 3 attempts at tattooing. So you're going to be able to see kind of where I started and then the difference like supplies can make. This is a wired tattoo gun, so it's not wireless. I think wireless would be better if I'm going to be honest. And I do have this skin and then these stencils that came with the kit. Now, this is basically a compressor with a foot pedal. And I'm still a far ways off from even tattooing myself or anything, if I even get that far, because I don't know. I'm one of those people who I can sit through like big tattoos, but I really like disassociate while I'm getting tattoos. Like I go off to my mind palace. I don't talk. Like I'm probably the most boring person to tattoo ever. But I just kind of go off into my own world. So I don't know how I'm supposed to do that while I'm the one actively tattooing myself. So like, wish me luck in the future. Like, I don't know though. So I sketched out a quick little design, like these like little band-aids. And I'm going to be honest, I, again, did not, even though I used a ruler, I did not actually measure very well. And it is very lopsided, okay? See, like one band-aid is very obviously longer than the other, but you know, that doesn't matter. This isn't real skin. I would never do this on me or a person. I had no idea what any of these needles were. I'm going to be honest. When I first started this first go, I read very little. I researched very little. I just kind of went in. So using the gun at first, and this insanely thin skin. Now, they don't actually recommend using 1mm skins because it's really easy to go through. Lucky for me, I'm pretty light-handed, so I actually don't really go through much, even though they are so thin. I will be graduating up to 3mm skins in the near future, though, so don't worry about that. I just used what I had on hand, and what was cheap because it was just getting used to holding the gun, all that kind of stuff. Or pen, what are they called? Tattoo gun, tattoo pen? Probably a pen. Anyway, so this yellowy skin is the one that came with the kit. And guys, it's garbage. Like if you get this kit, don't even bother with this thing. Maybe like try doing a couple lines in it, but it doesn't hold ink. At this point, I was sitting here drawing and I'm like, man, I'm really like, my hand is fairly consistent. Like I'm fairly smooth with this thing. I'm trying to go slow. I'm trying to turn up the voltage, like make the needle go faster. And the ink is just not sticking. And I was getting super mad, if I'm going to be honest. I even tried shading and I'm like, okay, this definitely should be more saturated, but it was not working out that way for me. And I mean, in the end, it turned out it was absolutely both the ink and the skin. I haven't gotten new needles yet, so I can't speak to that. But I have been told that the needles that come with the kit are, again, very cheap and not really good at like making the kind of holes that the ink gets sucked into in general. But yeah, this was after the first day. This is the second day, and we're blurry, but you know. For the second day, I decided to draw out some actual, like, basic ideas, little doodly things that I could then print out and then trace onto my stencil paper and actually use the stencil paper properly. Now, these first 3 days are like a super learning experience for me because even though I started using the stencil, I was not able to get it to stick very And I very quickly learned that you need some kind of transfer gel, or like some people use like unscented deodorant. That freaks me out. So for this one, I had actually picked up this stencil gel, and I do like this. However, in this clip, I do use too much of it, and it causes the stencil to kind of get like muddy and not stick as well, which is like, you think, okay, I'll put more and then it'll stick better, but that's not the case. You just basically need to like almost like oil it up, like lube it up a little, and it'll hold just fine. You need very little of this stuff, because, you know, otherwise you're gonna get like a messy stencil, and that is what these are. Look how messy these are. You can also see some of it's black, and that's because I went in with my pen and like drew the lines in a little more, which again, you don't ever do on human skin. Also, if you're watching me, never, ever, ever, ever tattoo without covering your gun, without wearing gloves. Don't put your face this close to the tattoo, because if this is someone's wound and you're just actively like huffing your air into it, like I just feel like that can't be sanitary. There's a lot of things, like this is not, or this like wet rag I'm using to wipe. Oh my god, like if I tattooed myself like this, I would be one giant infection. And I'm gonna say, from like after this video forward, I have switched to wrapping my gun, even though it's on skins, using latex gloves, or I use polyurethane or whatever. But yeah, you can see my line work is a lot better at this point. I went really slow, but like at this point I was like, okay, I have to go this slow, and I had to go over it twice to get this saturation. Like if I had to do this on people's skin, like it would end up raised, it would end up so irritated. Like I don't know, I wouldn't want this done to me if I was a person. Oh my god. There's that. I was a lot happier with like my depth in my hand on this one. All right, day 3, here we go. So we are going to quickly use this, like I do a quick tattoo on this one, and it turns out like quasi nice, I think. This time I did try and stretch the skin a little more as I was going, and I tried to keep my lines a little finer. I do like thicker line tattoos, but at this point I had kind of learned that the needle I was using is like an RDL 3 or 5, and for like the thicker line work I like in tattoos, usually use like a round liner or something that's like RDL or RL 7 or 9. So this was just an issue of the needle not being thick enough, not me trying to shove it in harder. Okay, so this is day 4, but I'm still counting this as day 3 in my heart, if I'm going to be honest, because I barely tattooed on day 3 because I basically decided the skin was garbage and I was going to try this one. This is still a 1mm skin from Amazon, but the quality is night and day already. It's much more matte, and it feels more like skin than a silicone matte. And I just tried one line on each side, and same pressure, same speed, and yeah, you can really see what I mean about like the quality of the materials. Look how much more ink this held. That is the exact same pressure, exact same color, exact same everything. So at this point, I'm really excited because this means I'm not going to have to injure myself to get good lines in the future, of course. But yeah. Now the colors in this tattoo are the Wormhole inks, and they are garbage, guys. They are such garbage. They come out looking like your tattoo is 2 years old. And I learned that they are not FDA tested or anything for human skin. They are made only for these synthetic skins, and even then they don't really hold. And like, even to get this level of color, like I know it looks okay, but I had to beat the hell out of the skin. So like, I wouldn't do this again. But anyways, that was the first few rounds of using this tattoo gun. If you guys like this video, I will... But yeah, anyways, if you guys like this video, maybe I'll update you in the future and show you what I'm doing later on, because this is still something I'm regularly doing. It's fun and it's kind of art adjacent. But anyways, if you're already subscribed, thanks so much for subscribing. If you're new here, hope you like the content, which will go back to its regularly scheduled Dolly content in the next video. And as always, I hope you have a fantastic day.